What you're about to hear may change the way you eat forever. A brand new non-diet diet reveals the best way to eat to lose weight, prevent disease, even live longer. As it turns out, it's all about timing. It's not just about what or where or how you eat. It's when. Your body has a clock that controls your metabolism. And if you eat at the right times, you can even indulge in non-diet foods like chocolate. The head of our own medical unit has been researching and road testing this plan for 2 years.
The body is best able to process carbohydrates early in the day. As the day goes on and when it gets late, when it gets dark especially, your body wants to burn fat. So if you eat a lot late, you're throwing a wrench into your body's clock and switching from fat burning mode to fat storing mode.
It's all laid out in the book, What to Eat When, written by two of my most trusted colleagues, Dr. Crupain and Dr. Mike Roizen, Chief Wellness Officer of the Cleveland Clinic. We asked 30 women to try the plan for 1 month.
Thing I love about the When diet is it doesn't make me cut out the things that I love, like lasagna and chocolate.
So far so good, and I think I'm going to be able to stick to this and like the results.
I went from a size 16 down to now I can wear my 12 size jeans again, so it's working.
Joining me now are the creators of this plan. They're my go-to experts on everything. Dr. Michael Crupain runs our med unit, and Dr. Michael Roizen. Mike, why is this so groundbreaking? Why is the timing of our meals so crucial to us getting successful weight loss?
Well, we thought that it was important to change the question. You know, people try, and my role as Chief Wellness Officer at the Cleveland Clinic, people try and lose weight. And much of the time, it doesn't stay off. So we thought the question should change. Instead of what you're eating, it should be when you're eating. And when we looked at that, there's a real circadian rhythm to metabolism. Your metabolism is higher at some times and lower at others. And when you align what you eat with when your circadian rhythm says you should be eating that, then that's the, if you will, great secret to weight loss.
Dr. Crupain, why has this way of looking at eating, paying attention to the biological clock, been overlooked for so long?
Yeah, we asked the same question ourselves, and when we looked, scientists just haven't spent a lot of time looking at how when we eat affects our health. And one reason may be that we all think a calorie is a calorie is a calorie, right? I think everyone's been told that. Yes. But when we look at the new science, that just might not be the case. It actually turns out that when you eat that calorie could mean a very different way that your body processes it.
So with that wisdom, you want us to flip things upside down. You say, well, we have a breakfast, lunch, dinner. We got to rethink it all.
That's right. We need to totally flip our thinking. So I'm a doctor, but I'm also very passionate about food and cooking. So I used to spend...
He's a gourmand, by the way. It's nauseating, but keep going.
and he really cooks incredibly well.
I've witnessed it.
Well, thank you. So I used to spend a lot of time, I'd go home at night, and I'd spend hours cooking an amazing, beautiful dinner. But by the time I was done, I was eating really late at night. And I thought about it, and I realized that most of my calories were coming way after dark. And that's actually what most of America is doing. And it turns out, when we looked at the science, this is exactly the wrong thing to do.
Let's get into it. But with this way of eating, you don't have to do the dizzying math of calorie counting. Instead, it's much more about using your watch to dictate your diet. So the What to Eat When plan is primarily around knowing what kinds of foods and how much of them. So you want us to eat dinner for breakfast. That's the basics.
Yeah, that's right. So we want you to eat bigger meals in the morning, so it's good to eat dinner foods for breakfast. So one of my favorites is to have a big hearty bowl of soup. This one I made is a creamy chickpea, kale, and chestnut with a tomato base.
Of course you did. And Mike, what do you normally have?
Well, as we said, I flip my dinner, so I eat a salmon burger. I love salmon burgers, and I eat them for breakfast. And, if you will, green beans, and then you can have sweet potatoes. You don't have to give up your sweet potatoes.
Having a burger for breakfast is counterintuitive.
Well, we thought it was counterintuitive, too. So we really get pre-diabetic at night. That is, if you have a low glucose in the morning, you end up with a higher glucose in the evening. You end up pre-diabetic, which means you gain weight.
Give me the equation. How do you actually think about this?
Yeah, so remember, so you want breakfast to be one of your biggest meals of the day. So you should have 3 to 4 ounces of protein. You can have 2 servings of carbs, which could be 2 slices of whole grain bread. So you can eat bread when you're eating the When way. And then you can have unlimited vegetables, so as many as you want. Fill up your plate. What's really important is that you eat what you love and you love what you eat. So if you really love traditional breakfast food, go ahead, have a yogurt or oatmeal, but then start getting adventurous. Start adding some grilled chicken, a piece of salmon, or some vegetables like some broccoli or kale.
So walk me through lunch over here. What is the best time for breakfast? Just before I forget that quick key question. Is breakfast 6 in the morning? What time is it?
Well, the best time for breakfast is when your metabolism wants you to eat breakfast. Naturally, our metabolism is greatest between 9 and 10 a.m. So that's when I eat that salmon burger.
All right. 9 and 10 a.m., we have our breakfast. Now it's time for lunch. You actually are big on cold carbs at lunch.
That's right. I think everybody loves carbs. I know I do, but when I bring carbs into the office, people give me dirty looks. Everyone's afraid of carbs these days, but when you're eating the Wen way, you don't have to be. So, because we're telling you to eat whole grain carbs and eat them smart, and that's by eating them cold. Here's the science of why you should eat your carbs cold. When they're hot, your body breaks them down and turns them into sugar, which it uses as energy. But when they're cold, they turn into something called resistant starch. And resistant starch is like fiber. So your body can't break down fiber, so you don't get all those calories, but you still feel full. And it's a great time hack because you can make it before, let it cool, and then it's ready to go whenever you want it.
All right, so I understand what I'm going to eat. The timing again, so I've had my breakfast between 9 and 10. When's lunch?
Lunch, you should have lunch before 3 p.m.
So again, if you eat the same number of calories, but you eat them at different times, you're saying it makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference to your weight and your energy level.
Okay, how big a portion can you have for lunch?
For lunch, it's not small portions. We're talking about another 3 to 4 ounces of protein if you want, 2 heaping cups of pasta, whole grain pasta. You can have...
But the cold.
Cold, it should be cold.
Yeah.
You can have a cup of quinoa and unlimited vegetables.
Guys, we're putting carbs back into your diet. I can't believe this. Not sugar, but carbs. Anna's back. Remember, she had lost all that weight in the plan. One of our audience members, thanks for being here. How surprised were you to see carbs on the menu?
I was very surprised. I thought diets were about cutting out the carbs, and I was completely wrong.
You made a combo
It was very
for us.
cool. I did. So this is, again, with the whole wheat or whole grain pasta, some sauteed broccoli, garlic, chilies, so keep a little bit of pick, and walnuts, because I love a little bit of crunchy yum.
And were they corn carbs?
Well, what I do is I cook it the night before, I put it in the fridge, and I take it out for lunch the next day.
You don't need a microwave anymore.
No.
And she lost 15 pounds, right?
I did.
Great job.
Thank you.
I
Good
love
job
that you
to
put
you
the
guys.
walnuts in there too. Mike is obsessed with them, and now he's got me hooked, so I throw them into everything.
What a show-off you are, Anna.
And you know, when you stop eating so much sugar, the walnuts taste sweet.
They do.
It's
I noticed that.
amazing. Yeah.
Smartest audience in television. Thank you very much. Get to the final step of the plan, the 5 o'clock dinner happy hour. What do you actually mean by happy hour?
Well, remember that dinner you want to be the smallest meal because your biology makes the dinner turn into fat if it's too big. So you know when you go to happy hour, there are small hors d'oeuvre portions. You want really small portions. And at the end of the happy hour, yes, you can have a glass of wine.
You can.
That's
He's giving you wine. All right, you brought your favorite 5 o'clock happy hour meal. Help us understand how this can flatten our belly and give us the formula. Show us what to eat.
Yeah, since we're eating dinner for breakfast, why not have some breakfast for dinner? Sometimes you get home and you just want something quick and easy. So one of my favorites is a frittata. So this is just some vegetables you threw in a pan, maybe some leftovers, some celery, carrots, peppers, and mushrooms, and then 4 eggs, basically, mostly whites, 1 yolk. And the key is to have fiber plus protein together because that keeps you feeling full.
All right, so give us the timing. You have to be done by 5. You start at 5.
Yeah. So remember, this is based on your circadian rhythm, and your circadian rhythm is set by the sun. So you start eating when the sun comes up, and you stop when the sun sets. Ideally, you stop before that. You expand that window. So the time between when you finish your dinner and you eat your breakfast should be at least 12 hours. But the longer you make it, the better. Because when you're eating the Wen way and you're fasting overnight, that's called intermittent fasting, which is pretty popular these days.
Yes.
You're getting that, plus you start burning ketones. So you're getting to burn ketones, which is one of the things you get on the keto diet, but you still don't have to struggle because you get to eat carbs.
It's a hack to get us all the joy without the pain. Go to DrOz.com to find a cheat sheet, how you can follow the whole plan. It's super simple. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.